Hi guys, welcome back to another bite-sized video. So in today's video we are going to be making some fruit cake, or as some persons call it, Christmas cake. We're going in with this tub of glow spread margarine. I grew up hearing my mom say it's a pound. I'm not sure, but as you can see on the packaging it says 455 grams, so that's what we're working with. So we're creaming the butter until it gets smooth and essentially doubles in size to create a nice airy batter. So in my family, whenever we bake cake, usually everybody sits around in the living room and we just talk and laugh and chatter. So here my little nephew wanted to help with the mixing, and I just let him. So once we're finished beating the butter or fluffing the butter, we are going to go in and add our sugar. I'm using very light brown sugar and I'm only adding 2 cups because it's fruit cake and the fruits tend to make it sweet, so you don't want to go overboard with the sugar. You can always add more sugar after you've mixed it up and you taste it. If it's not to your liking, then you can add just a little bit, but I guarantee you that this sugar worked perfectly. So it is a lot of work, but this is obviously preference. You can feel free to use a hand mixer or a stand mixer, but I just wanted to use my hand because that is what was traditionally done way back when. Even in my childhood, I used to sit and watch my mom use her hands to make our cakes, and they turned out just absolutely delicious. So the fluffing does take a long time. It is tedious work, but just look at this fluffiness. So the best way that I think that this works is to just beat the butter against the back of the spoon, slapping it into your container. That works perfectly fine for me. If you are a forward mixer, then you just do what I just said in the opposite direction. But guys, just look at this fluffy goodness. So now we're going to be adding our eggs, and in total I added 8 eggs to my mixture. Of course, I removed what we call the renk from the egg, which is basically just a white membrane attached to the yolk. I removed those and then I fluffed my eggs before adding them to my fluffed butter. This just makes for an even lighter or fluffier end result. So guys, if you made it this far in the video, go ahead and like, subscribe, comment, let me know any other videos that you guys would like to see. I want to thank you guys for sticking with me through my cooking journey. I do this for you just as much as I do it for me. As usual guys, I will list everything that I use down in the description, but now we're just going in with some Angostura bitters, and I think in total I did use about 10 or so drops of this, but of course it's preference. If you don't want to use Angostura, then you don't have to. I will also be using vanilla essence and a little bit of cinnamon. So this is my fruit mix. I just blended the fruits with a little bit of essence, some cinnamon, and the littlest amount of water, because you do not want it to be too runny, otherwise you will end up with a thick line of demarcation towards the bottom of your cake. Keep in mind that the amount of fruit that you add to your cake is entirely up to you. I'm not the biggest fan of fruit cakes. I don't want a whole barrage of fruits in my cake, neither do I want them whole, hence the reason I blended it. So I'm going in with a tablespoon of browning. That is just to intensify the color, because as I said, I don't want too much fruit in my cake, so I'm giving it a little boost. So we're going in with some self-rising flour. I used a total of 3 cups of self-rising flour and 1 cup of regular all-purpose flour. So I did not add any baking powder, any baking soda. If you would like to see a video, I do everything completely from scratch, then feel free to leave a comment down below and I will show you how I go ahead and add my leavening agents. So I do taste my raw cake batter. I do taste it because I would like to know if it's still fresh or what to have you, if it's sweet enough, because years ago we have been tasting raw cake batter and I've never gotten salmonella. But of course it's a choice, you don't have to do this. So basically now what I'm going to do is test to see if my batter is ready, and this is a little trick that I learned from my mother and my grandparents growing up. So you're pulling the flour to the middle of the pan and then you're sticking the spoon in the center. If the spoon falls over immediately, you do need some more flour, but as you guys can see, my spoon is standing tall, which means that my batter is ready. This recipe typically yields 3 cakes. So this large cake, well, it's a large to me, and 2 smaller ones. I guess if you're using 2 of these large pans, then you would only yield 2. So we're greasing the pan with some of the leftover glow spread, and then we're going to flour it. This is to ensure that your cake does not stick to the pan once it's finished baking. Of course, all this is a preference. If you want, you can just butter it, but I prefer to butter and flour. Okay, so for this part of the cake, you just want to slap it against the table to remove any bubbles from the batter so that you end up with a nice set cake. If you have any anger issues you want to get out, now's the time for it. Alright guys, so these are our finished cakes. Just look at how golden brown they are. Guys, this cake was absolutely delicious. I got so many compliments because I did share some cake with my neighbors and they absolutely thought it was delicious. Now this is the sample cake, hence the reason it's so flat. We always have a sample cake This cake disappears in minutes after coming out the oven. Is it just a Vinci thing, or I don't know if they say this in other Caribbean islands that if you eat hot cake then it will make your balls get swollen? I don't know. Comment down below and let me know if you've ever heard of this saying. But guys, this brings us to the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bon appetit and keep on watching.